Hello, Jeannie OK Boomer here. Welcome to this week's vlog. As I try to do in every vlog, sometimes I forget. It's just to tell everybody I'm a conservative. Always keep that in mind when you evaluate whatever I say. And especially today, because you would not expect a conservative such as myself to go out of his way to help liberals. But that's what I'm going to do today. I'm going to help my liberal friends with their Joe Biden problem. I'm sure you've read, heard, seen articles, videos, news reports. The Democrats have a real problem. They're trying to get rid of Joe Biden. They don't, well, we already know that only 18%, this is a recent poll I saw, only 18% of the people, American people, want Biden to run again, and it's just about the same amount of Democrats. Democrats overwhelmingly don't want him. 2/3 of Democrats do not want Joe Biden to run again. He was actually confronted with that question the other day. A reporter asked him what he thought about this idea that the poll that 2/3 of Democrats don't want to vote. They don't want Biden to run again. And he said, Look at the poll, Jack. Look at the poll, Jack. And he pointed to a figure saying that 92% of Democrats would vote for Biden if he ran again. But that wasn't the point. Yes, if it's a Biden versus Trump, then 92%, it's not surprising that 92% of Democrats would vote for Biden. But that's not the point or the question. It's that 2/3 don't want him to run at all, because you could be sure that 92% of Democrats will vote for the Democratic candidate, no matter who that candidate it is. So no matter who, I'm having trouble speaking today. No matter who that candidate is, I'm almost like Joe Biden, and well, my mouth is a little dry. That's probably why. Anyhow, they're trying to figure out a way to push him out the door. He is already insisting that he's going to run again. Everybody knows that he's not going to. If he doesn't announce that he's not going to run, then he'll get primaried. And if he gets primaried, as always happens, I don't think there's been an exception in American history. If he gets a challenge, then he's not going to win the election. In fact, probably whoever wins the primary, if it's contested, when you have a sitting president of the same party, it wouldn't look good for them it wouldn't look good for that person in the election. So they got to figure out a way. He obviously doesn't want to go, and if he doesn't want to go, I suppose there's a 25th Amendment, and it's ironic because the Democrats talked about using the 25th Amendment to push Trump out, but it wouldn't apply to him. I won't go into long detail for now, but it definitely applies to Biden, his cognitive decline. And in fact, he was caught again, this time in Israel, shaking hands with the air. Remember, he did that once before at the White House, and the White House tried to explain it away. Well, he did it again, and then he was awarded a Presidential Medal of Honor. This would be the President of Israel Medal of Honor, and he had to be led to his seat. It's just, what can I say? We got about 2.5 more years of this that we have to go through. Anyways, you have to remember that there were 2 sham impeachments of Donald Trump. The second one was no months of hearings and investigations, and he was already out of office by the time I think it happened. But anyhow, within days of January 6th, the House was already impeaching him without really any investigation at all. But the first one was, well, that was a sham too. I'm not going to go into the details. The point I'm making today is that we have a president right now, Joe Biden, who is willfully ignoring the immigration laws. He takes an oath to uphold the Constitution. He's supposed to enforce the federal law. And not only is he not enforcing the immigration laws, keeping unlawful aliens from coming into the country, or I should say coming, well, you'll see what I mean in a minute. I want to be specific about that. They can come over the border, but, well, I'll get specific now. They can come over the border, but if they're caught at the border, they either have to be sent right back or they have to be detained at the border. You have to remember that there are all these tents and this whole kids in cages business, but all these tents they were building to house all these immigrants. First we had them, remember, camping out under an underpass and then being put in all these tents, and then as the number grew and grew and grew and it became harder to house all these immigrants, not unlawful aliens, and not only that, the embarrassment of seeing that, the visuals, that the Biden administration started in the middle of the night, the dead of night, transporting these unlawful aliens into the interior of the country, including my state where I am right now, Tennessee. That is a blatant, obvious, you can't miss it, violation of our law. And by the way, I'm going to digress for a minute because you may have heard that that the Governor Abbott of Texas has authorized the National Guard to seize these aliens, these unlawful aliens, and take them back to the border. Unfortunately, he can't, this is why he's being criticized, he can't send them back to Mexico. He can only take them back to the border, where under federal law they are supposed to be if they are not sent back over the border. So that's what he's doing, and he's being criticized for that because they can't be returned to Mexico. But I disagree with that. I think it's really great because you're going to see now you have I don't know, thousands sometimes. You have all these immigrants coming over the border, over a million so far in the past year. So if things continue as they have been, you're going to have another million in the coming year over the next 12 months. And you're going to have 1 million immigrants sitting on the border. I don't know how even the mainstream media could fail to report on that. Right now, they're not. Occasionally, I go on on YouTube to see what, say, NBC News with their nightly news, just the very first minute or so, a few seconds, just to see what stories they're covering. And I never see anything about this crisis at the border. You really have to watch Fox News, where they're doing very intensive reporting. But they're the only ones. But 1 million immigrants, unlawful aliens, sitting right on the border, and the humanitarian problems, and the governor can say, well, look, they're not allowed to go into the country, let's send them back to Mexico, and then the president's going to be in a real spot. But the point I'm getting to, which I will right now, is you're going to have I predict, a real honest, or I see a strong possibility of a real honest impeachment of Joe Biden. I am pretty confident that he will be impeached if the Republicans take the House. And then there will have to be a trial in the Senate, no matter for removal from office, regardless of which party is in control. But I actually read an article today that it is now, before they were saying that it's almost a sure bet that the Republicans will take the House, but not a sure bet that it was iffy whether the Republicans, even though they only need one seat, would be able to take the Senate. But I saw an article today saying that it's looking now more likely than not that they will take the Senate too. But either way, whether they do or not, there has to be a trial in the Senate, and then they can get rid of Joe Biden, just as the Republicans did with Richard Nixon during Watergate, which I'm old enough to remember. He wasn't removed from office. What happened was a delegation of of higher up Republicans. I think I remember Baker was one of them, Howard Baker. But they went to Nixon and they said, read him the Riot Act. They said the writing is on the wall, and if you don't resign, you're going to be impeached and removed from office. And he resigned. So that would be, hopefully Biden would resign. But the point is this, that the Democrats, that will be their opportunity to get rid of him. And then, God help us, but Kamala Harris would be president, at least for a little while. And, well, that's what their base wants. They want, or at least a part of their base, black women voters, liberal black women, would want her to be the nominee, which is why I predict that she would be the nominee if Biden doesn't run. Unless the only other possibility is Bernie Sanders if he runs again. I don't know if he would, but I wouldn't fault him if he did, because of the way he was treated. He should have been the nominee in 2016 and definitely in 2020. And this is another ball of can of worms I'm not going to open this week today, but that would be their chance. And if he gets impeached, if the House impeaches Biden, you can be sure that there will be, as I said, we can all see that he's violating the immigration laws, and we can see that he's senile today. Who knows, a year from now. So it's going to be very embarrassing for the Democrats if they don't impeach him. So it's a win-win situation for the Republicans either way, because if he's impeached, then there will be a trial, and there will be no doubt that Biden has committed at least one impeachable offense. The whole country will know it, and then if the Senate doesn't do what the Republicans did with Richard Nixon, then, well, I'm not going to speculate today. I'm just going to say reserve your popcorn for that event if it happens. And that's about it. The only other thing to reserve is some time to come back next week and watch my next vlog. But thanks. I appreciate the time you spend with me. Thanks for stopping by. If you have any questions, comments, suggestions for future topics, there's a comment section below the video. Share this video with anybody you think would benefit from it. If you could subscribe, that would be great. I love getting new subscribers. But most of all, come back and see me again. I would love to see all of you again. I look forward to seeing all of you again. And until I do see all of you again, well, I guess it's the end of the video. I guess I can do it. Much better. Until I see all of you again, bye.